Happy peeps, Suzanna here today for Elles Studio to share with you a layout created using the newly released today December kit and add-ons. Those are the add-ons, and this is the layout that I am sharing with you today. So this layout features a large photo as well as the My Star metal die and some of the 3x4 cards as well as other elements in the kit here. So I have this large photo. It is of lights, twinkle lights as we call them, at the botanical gardens that we have here in Richmond. And I want to feature the large star die and some stars. I like the way that the stars sort of pick up on that twinkling theme, and so I'm sorry I skipped ahead here because I literally shuffled cards around to come up with that configuration for probably a good 5 minutes, which is just absolutely ridiculous because I know that's not what I wanted, but I think before I created this layout I hadn't scrapped for a while. And so I was struggling to find my groove here, and I wanted to spare you the agony of this. So I have the labels, the December labels from 2020, and I want to use those as a border down along the bottom there. I really liked those 3 cards. So the red card that says "This was awesome," and the yellow card that says "Family Fun" are from the kit, and then the gray one that says "Pure Magic" is from one of the principals. I knew I wanted those 3 cards at the top, and I liked the way that using the labels down the bottom pulled that same look of the bold frame with some verbiage, some wording down the bottom. I also knew that I had some extra room in that photo. You did not need all of the red in that rainbow of lights there, and I really liked the way that the staggered labels created some movement there. What I'm going to change, what I'm working on now, and I'm going to take out the red and that blue, is that I didn't want the solid to go all the way up the page, if that makes sense. So I've got the staggering of the labels down the bottom, and then I wanted more staggering up the top. And why I like the white is because this is a very dark layout. Obviously this is a nighttime, evening time photo, and I liked the way that the white balanced it out and pulled out the color, providing the contrast to the black there. So I'm going to use one of the 3x4 cards to the right hand side there with the fussy cut star from the card that says "Let It Shine." And now the rest of this, I'm going to use the jewel polka dot paper stack, and I'm going to just use colors that are in that rainbow of lights there and pull that color into the rest of the page like a starry, starry night. And then I'm going to use the stitched dies in the My Star metal die of different sizes to just put some stars into my starry sky. So literally it's dead easy. These cut super clean and super nicely and leave a really nice stitched emboss in them. And I'm just going to do that in various sizes and colors to fit into those gaps there to kind of close them off. Not kind of, to close them off. And different colors. And let's see, I went with the colors that I went with because there was already a lot of blue in the page, and I knew I had a couple of blue embellishments that I wanted to use, so I didn't cut any blue. I just went with those other colors. There was a fair amount of yellow in the journal card that I have there, as well as that label down the bottom, and then the yellow in the tape, and so I just wanted just a little bit of yellow, a hint of yellow. Of course, it's going to be the big star, but a hint of yellow, and that's why I pulled in the colors that I did. Obviously, I pulled in a little bit more green, a lot more green, because there isn't a lot of green in the photo. There's just really that strip of green through that rainbow stripe there. So you can see I didn't pull out that tealy color, and I'm going to go with that tealy color, and then I'm going to fussy cut some of the stars. You'll see that coming up in the layout. So the card that I cut the "Let It Shine" card from had some little teeny tiny stars. I don't know if you can see them to the top of the layout there. I'm going to fussy cut those to put on the page as well. Something else that I'm going to do off camera is I am going to also use the smaller star stamps in the happiness and cheer stamp set, and I'm going to stamp those in black again just for a sprinkling of stars throughout the layout. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is those labels down the bottom there. I really didn't have that much journaling that I wanted to put in, and I like the white, but I actually liked the shots of white more than I just liked all of that stark white. So I'm going to use, again, stamps from the Happiness and Cheer stamp. I'm just going to use the textures and fill in the texture boxes of 3 of those with matching colors. And you'll see that better in the close-ups, but I did not do that off camera. I mean, I did do that off camera. There are things that I see once I go to take the pictures, or that when I'm not standing over the layout, that I kind of end up doing off camera, not because I don't want you to see the process, but it's just my fine tuning, and I don't always think to turn the camera back on. So I've committed to the placement of all of these things, and I'm just going to go ahead and adhere everything. I decided that if I were to have a scrappy superpower, my scrappy superpower would be to not have to lift everything back up, but to be able to apply adhesive behind things without needing to lift them up. Because inevitably, nothing ends up going down the way that I originally lay it out. It's Murphy, right? You can't, it's just impossible. Even if I take a picture of it, it never goes back down the way that I originally lay it out. And I guess it's just not meant to be. But that would be my scrappy superpower, is to have an invisible adhesive application. So I know some of you are going to ask me that photo size. It was actually printed originally 8.5 by 11 full. There was even more of that red going down it, and I just trimmed it where it fit on the photo, so I did not plan, but I've got my ruler out right now, and it is approximately, I gotta hold the ruler the right way. So that is approximately 8.25 inches. So 8.5 by 8.25 inches, almost square. But because of the horizontal movement of those bold lines of the cards, it doesn't look quite as square as it is. But it provides me just enough room to have the layers of goodies above and below. So something to consider when you are trimming your photos or editing your photos is you want to, again, follow that rule of thirds. So you can see how the horizon is at the top third. It divides the top third and the bottom 2/3 of the layout there. I had toyed with the idea of making this more of a horizontal photo and cutting off at the bottom of the orange and the red in those lights, that rainbow of lights there. But then what that would have done is it would have given me 50-50 of sky and I'll call it background, and I didn't want that. So that's why I stuck with the square that I have there. So that red star I popped up on foam, again, just for a little bit of dimension, and it really is the only thing that is popped up on foam. Actually, that's not true. There is going to be one of these words. So these are the comfort and joy stickers. I'm going to pop that word right there that I'm holding up, and it's actually a phrase, not a word, and it says, this is on the to-do list. This was on the to-do list. Every year we go to these lights. These are the Christmas lights that are at the Botanical Gardens. We are members of that garden. So you will have seen many of these layouts over the years, and probably also throughout the year. My husband and I like to go there, and so this is something, you know, I think this December, this holiday season, we need to do as much of what is quote unquote normal as we can. Not our new normal, but what is normal. And this is one of our traditions to go. And fortunately, because it's outdoors, we can still go just in limited numbers, which is actually probably better. So I'm going to sprinkle a couple of these phrases throughout. This one says, taking a moment to soak it all in. And then the next one on the corally star, this one here, is going to say together. So I just like the shots of white through that color there. It just sort of, and it maintains that horizontal consistency throughout the layout there. So these are the Joyful chipboard stickers. I absolutely love these, and I'm just going to honestly use Twinkle as the title. You can see I tried folding it and just laying it down there, but it didn't work. So what I ended up doing is cutting out the clear that housed Twinkle so that it would go down fairly smoothly. And then I'm going to use one of the red stars just to the left of Twinkle to tie in the stars throughout the page and have something with a shot of color just to the left of Twinkle there, which I think kind of wraps it all together nicely. So and then that little yellow one right there, that is really the dimension that ties this all together. Is you've got the big red star, that phrase, this was on the to-do list, and then the chipboard elements. So you've got a sprinkling of dimension throughout the page there. So I feel like I have a big blue gap up there in that top left-hand corner, and I feel like I need to put something in there. So you saw how I had one of the die cut elements to try and fill that in, but I didn't like the multitude of colors there. While I have a multitude of color, I just would rather have solid color amongst that creates the multitude. So I'm going to use that star there that I fussy cut from the remainder of that 3x4 card. And then so these are from the printables. I'm going to, while it is a circle, I used my manual die cut machine in one of the smaller stars, the non-embossed ones. And I just trimmed it down a little bit because I had the white corners left from the circle. I could have colored them in with a marker, but it was easier to just trim down the star based on the shape of the star from the die cut. And that is going to fill that gap in there. I am actually going to go in and use some of the green acetate alphabet and put LG on the right hand side of that 3x4 card down the bottom there and do my journaling up the top. So these are the close-ups. If you would like to see what it is that I use, there is a affiliate link below for your shopping, and also you can see that shopping list of the things that I did use. Thanks for stopping in today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the box down below. I hope to see you again soon. Take care.